What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the In the Round podcast. It's your boy, Matt Brill, hanging out with you. And today, a very special edition. You're probably like, why the hell is Matt dropping an episode on a Friday? Well, I'll tell you why. Very special edition. Today's a special freaking day. Episode 75 with Mr. Trey Lewis. Today's release day. Brand new EP out. Brand new music. A lot of folks have been excited about this. I know we've been very excited about it. The Shut the Door EP. It is now out for your listening pleasure. Available on all the platforms and whatnot. And was very lucky to sit down with Trey and have a great conversation with him. We talk about all kinds of shit and, of course, the new music and kind of reflect, because this is round 2 with Trey. We had him on episode 59 a long time ago. It was about this less than a year ago, actually. But just how much things have changed, and we talk about all that stuff and a whole lot more. But before we get to that, shout out to the sponsors, Whaletail Media. Trey is actually a part of the Whaletail family, which is really, really cool. Does a lot of videos and a lot of work with him. That Shut the Door video that's out right now, Wales produced and shot and directed and everything, and it's freaking awesome. So make sure you hit up Whaletail Media if you're looking for content here in Nashville, Tennessee, or Whaletail Weddings if you're out there getting hitched. Saxman Studios, funny enough, another connection to Trey Lewis here. This is where he records all of his music. And Grady and Saul and Grant and Tim and Dylan and Will and the whole crew over there, we love them dearly. Make sure you hit up our friends at Saxman Studios. Brand new home for them, by the way. They've got a killer setup over there. And then last but certainly not least, our friends Trailside CBD Emporium, the official home of Delta 8 THC here in Nashville, Tennessee. Check them out. They've got all kinds of products, all kinds of tasty goods. Come to one of our writers' rounds. You can check them out. They are badass, and you can use the promo code ITR on trailsidecbd.com to save 20% on your order. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Y'all listen closely. This is a fun one. My conversation with my brother, Mr. Trey Lewis, on the In the Round podcast.
Last time we did this, we didn't have headphones, right?
No, last time we didn't have headphones, bro. It was definitely different, man. Episode 59 was last time, bro. November 23rd was when it was released, which means we recorded it like a week or two before that. And then December rolls along, and things have been kind of crazy since then.
What episode are we on now?
We are on 75, I believe.
Awesome.
So it's 16 episodes later, but it feels like a freaking long time ago, dude. I mean, I was listening back to it today, and
20 episodes. Each episode's like what, an hour and a half,
something like that.
That's like 30 hours, you know.
Yeah, but I was slacking in June and July. Like for a while, it was like Justin Holt was like the only new episode that I had.
You pretty busy though.
Yeah, you have, and dude, and I'm grateful for it, man. And it's been cool to go from like getting to know you playing kickball. Or the first time I met you, you were smoking McKinney or playing Maxwell and Madden at their house. I remember giving you shit for dipping Skull Peach.
Oh yeah,
that was the first time I met you. It was at Dawson and Maxwell's place.
I don't even remember that. I just remember like I was walking up like. Are we rolling?
We're rolling. Yeah, we're rolling.
Okay, I didn't know if you were going to intro this or not.
Nah.
But I just remember like I've known Gary and Charlie forever, you know what I mean? And like we're obviously like closer friends now than we were like back then. But it's kind of like always like we just kind of knew each other. Like me and Charlie would talk sometimes on Snapchat or something, you know, but it wasn't like, you know, now I'll just call him up every now and then and be like, you know, hey, how you doing, man? Or, you know, whatever. But I just remember I always like held them in the highest regards because like they were like even before Riley, like they were the first group to like, you know, do the fuck it, I'm going to Nashville, I'm going to try this shit out, you know what I mean? And I just remember like, you know, I always just kind of held them in high regards. I just thought it was cool, like the level that they've been doing it at for some years, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I knew you were a part of that crew.
Yeah, and the first time, that first kickball game I played with you guys, because I know you guys had been playing kickball before me and Boudreaux and that whole crew popped up. First game, I remember you wearing the old Muscadine, with the bird
original,
on it.
yeah,
the OG shirt. And I was like, oh shit,
the Vine, yeah.
Yep, yeah, you were wearing that, and when you had a
but I just remember
Sat
like
on.
you were like looking for the bathroom, and like I was walking to the field, and we like caught eye contact. I just like shook your hand. I was like, "Oh, that guy works with Gary and Charlie. Like, I need to say hey to him," you know. And
that's crazy.
I was like, it was kind of like that awkward thing where it's like, yeah, I know we don't know each other, but we know who each other are.
Yeah.
Like, let's shake hands. And I thought that was the first time we met. I didn't know that it was over.
Well, the other time at Maxwell and Dawson's, because I got kind of introduced to the whole crew by doing a podcast. And one day it was last July. Me and Boudreaux had just gotten back in town, and we had Stephen Paul and we had Dawson on 2 episodes in the same day. And that was when I went and watched my first NASCAR race with Dawson, and then that led to
that's an experience.
going again. Then led to I mean, dude, that was my first time drinking non-alcoholic beer, because I was like, I want to drink. I know Dawson's a beer drinker, and I tried Busch non-alcoholic, which is the worst non-alcoholic beer.
I went over to like Dawson is like, he's like a real NASCAR fan. Yeah. Like he's not like it ain't no bullshit. Like I went over there. I think we went on that. Me and Maxwell, we went on that writers retreat with McKinney. Like it was like a Sunday. It was raining. And Dawson was just sitting there in his like PJs, drinking Natty Light, watching the race by himself. You know what I mean? Like he's the real deal NASCAR fan. He doesn't do it to like, you know, be cool and tag something on Instagram. You know what I mean?
No,
like, he's a real fan of NASCAR, and like as a kid, like coming up, I was a fan like that. You know what I mean? I don't care about it as much as I used to, and I think a lot of that has to do is like my stepdad doesn't care about it anymore because he hates that they changed the rules. So
old Joel.
I'm just like if Joel's not watching it, then I ain't got to watch it.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I mean? Is part of the NASCAR experience is getting Big Dave on speakerphone, because Big Dave, Dawson's dad, will call Dawson whenever the littlest thing happens in the race, and he'll start yelling, then Dawson will start yelling back. It's just a wild rowdy thing. But
I mean, I still know enough about NASCAR to like get my street cred.
Yeah, and you own a ton of NASCAR shirts nowadays.
Yeah, when I went to Priscilla sang the national anthem, and we got to like sit VIP and all that stuff in the boxes. But like Kara and all them, they've never seen anything like that in their lives, and they were like asking me the rules, like how does this work, And
cars go around, and
well, like the craziest thing is when we left that day, Dawson and Caleb Conradi were still like tailgating because they were too drunk to drive home. They were trying to sober up, so we ran into them. And I was like, so do they get a point every time they lead the lap around? And he was like, no, that's the old school way, So like every heat you win, you get points or whatever. That's how it works.
Yeah, it's changed a lot for sure. But yeah, it's funny because like this time last year was when I was first starting to get to know you guys, like your house. And it's funny, again, listening back to that older episode, talking about Ella and Clay and Mitch and that whole crew, and that was right when Justin Holt was moving to town, and now it's like I considered all you guys like family, literally. Like I'm over and then gotten to know not only you but like that whole crew super well.
Yeah,
and hell, I wear the Alabama 65 South hats just as much as anybody.
Yeah, you're an honorary Alabamian,
which is wild, man. But dude,
they tag you on their shit all the time.
They do. I get tagged on it more than some of the damn artists. And
more
I'm
than
like,
me, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm it's just because I wear the.
I got my own 65 South hat, and they don't tag me as much as they do you.
Yeah, I don't know. Me and then McElwain will pop up every now and then too.
But yeah, man. I mean, it really is crazy to see like how much things have like changed from the first initial podcast we did. I mean, Dick Down in Dallas wasn't even like totally viral.
No, you had just played the round, I think, either that week or the week before.
Yeah, things hadn't even gotten crazy yet. Like we hadn't even done the reaction videos or any of that stuff. I mean, in that last podcast, I was still talking about the thing in Starkville, like we were talking about earlier, and I mean, it's crazy, man. It really is to think of where things are now. And, like how good of friends, it's just like, McKinney, it signed his pub deal and like where everybody is, compared to 8 months ago, or even a year,
Yeah, the whole crew is winning, and it's really cool that you were the guy that came in and we'll talk about the new EP, Shut the Door, which is out today. But you were the guy that kicked the door down and really got the crew going from the Bama fam to the no hits crew, and like everybody's been kind of seeing it, man, and it's been wild. What was when?
And it wasn't planned that way.
No,
oh,
dude, absolutely, yeah.
Like, and I'm a very outspoken person, and I say what I want to say, and I think that's why a song like "Dick Down in Dallas" worked for me. But I'm still very humble. I don't think I'm like God's gift to music or like whatever. I'm just grateful that I got to be the one that like started all this with not saying that it had to do it wasn't all me, but like I'm just grateful for the way that things turned out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
I'm grateful that for once in my life I didn't have to watch from the sidelines, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's what's cool for
like everybody has their time when they're supposed to have their time, and like in that moment was my time, and I was ready for it, and like I'm grateful for it, and I'm even still now super grateful for it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I remember that first weekend going to the Blue Room, and I remember FaceTiming the Sigs chat.
Yeah.
When you were playing like some of the songs earlier in the set, like when you played Whole Lot of Nothing and you're playing like Whiskey Miss Me, and then when you played Dick Down, and I did like the whole group chat FaceTime thing, and just seeing everybody's reactions to like, holy shit, this is real, like this is
wild.
happening.
And you were, we I still had you. You were still with Muscadine. I just had you out selling merch for us.
Yeah, I was selling merch and just kind of there to be extra help to Alex. I think we were all learning on the fly.
Yeah.
Like it. For
the record, we did the Muscadine. I did the Muscadine Bloodline podcast, which was the coolest thing to me ever because, like I said, I've always looked up to those guys and like, really respect them and love their music, And after we got done with the podcast, Charlie goes, "So, like, are you still in Brill from us or what?" And it just got, like, super awkward. And I was just like, because we had talked about maybe you coming on and doing some TM, and doing merch. But I was like, look, man, I'm not trying to, like, not that they're daddy, but in a way they kind of are, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like as far as, like, how an independent artist should do things. And I was like, I don't want, but they were cool about it. They were just like,
and thank God I suggested Bradley Curry.
Yeah, better Burrell. He's better Burrell now.
Yeah, thank God I suggested. I got Brad in there too because he's been crushing it, and they've been out doing shows again for a while. But for a long time, we were the only ones out there doing it.
Yeah,
like that
crazy.
December, January. Like I was telling somebody about Slide and Ride the other night and showing the video that Nikki T had taken from that night, and it's like the date on it's like January 17th.
Yeah.
Like that shit's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool that like some of those, like that Milledgeville run we did. Was it like Milledgeville? Where all did we go?
I'd have to look in
You're supposed to know, Burrell. You always know. You know everything, man. You never forget a single thing.
I think we did Milledgeville. We didn't do Rome on that one.
Was that the Anderson weekend?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So it was like we played, I want to say we did 3 nights.
Was it Athens, Milledgeville, and Anderson?
Yeah, Anderson.
And Anderson was Devontae's birthday.
Yeah, and Anderson was Devontae's birthday. That's a whole nother story. But like Milledgeville was like, no hate against that venue because I'd totally play that room again.
Dude,
you know
big
what I mean?
Big room legend. That's the first place the Brantley Gilbert ever played Dirt Road Anthem with Cole
But
Ford.
the place isn't the nicest. You know what I mean? It's a honky tonk.
Yeah.
And there's no green room, and there's just people in the back like stealing our beer, and like a guy tried to steal Ella's guitar.
Yeah.
And we got our trailer tires slashed.
Paul Bunyan,
like one of the like local guys, like tried to start a fight with you, right?
One guy tried to start something with me, and then another guy tried to start something with another band member. And
he's like a local guy that plays there a lot. Like I didn't have a problem with him. Like me and him sat out back and talked, but apparently, him walking in there like he owned the place rubbed some people the wrong way.
Yeah, it was just the security. Yeah, that was February 5th, and then the 6th was Anderson.
Yeah. The next night that night we went to Al Chapman. He owns the
Blue Room.
The Blue Room, and I guess there's another bar in Statesboro called Southern Social. And the guy that owns that, him and Al are like old friends, but apparently they had like some bad blood or something.
A little too much to drink.
Just the moral story is if you're in Statesboro, how do you say it?
Statesboro.
Yeah. Statesboro, Georgia, and you go to the Southern Social, fuck you. Go to the Blue Room only, because that guy's a dick, and he's just trying to start shit with everybody. And the Blue Room's where it's at. Everybody knows it. They got the hottest girls. If you're a single guy, so it's funny too because we were talking about, again, the reference that last episode, you were saying your favorite 3 college towns, Statesboro, Auburn, and Starkville. Yeah.
And Statesboro was that opening weekend of this,
but I'm just saying,
tour
like,
that we've been on.
I mean, even before, like, we were, the Dick Down in Dallas crew, like, every time we went to the Blue Room and played there, Al took care of us.
No, it's
and
home.
William took care of us. Like, we would go over to Dingus and fucking, eat dinner, and Al would pay for our food. And that was before we weren't jack shit, but a cover band. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's like,
if you're a cover band coming up, those guys
I'll
are
never
going to take
play
care
anywhere
of you.
other than state, than the Blue Room. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Unless
man.
it's like at the fucking stadium or
When was your first
outside.
When was your first show there?
I want to say, like, probably 2018.
The Sequoia days.
It was a Thanksgiving, and we drove up there in Matt McElwain's Ford Expedition.
Oh wow!
And I think man, it's hard to think. Oh no, that was when the McAvoys were still playing with us. It was the bass player and then his brother Bubba. We played in Tuscaloosa on a Friday night. And we played from 10:30 to 2:30. We got done. We were going to drive halfway to, like, Phoenix City and Auburn. Sleep for a few hours, and then drive the rest of the way. Well, by the time we got to Phoenix City, it was, like, 7 o'clock in the morning. And Alex booked our hotel room on, like, one of those websites. And when we got to the hotel, it was, like, one of those cheap, like, fucking Days Inn, 2-star, 1-star, 3-star hotel. And they were like, no, can't have your room, They're like... You've already, that sounded like an Asian accent, but it was like, they were like, can't have your room, it's 7 o'clock, because we were just going to go in, shower, like maybe rest for like an hour and then get back on the road. So we just left from there because they couldn't get our money back, couldn't drive. So we just drove straight to this frat house and played this gig in this hot, smoldering sun, just fucking hot as fuck.
Where was that? Was that in Statesboro?
In Statesboro, but the gig only paid like $350. So we were just all like tired. We play this frat gig. The kids don't give a fuck. And then from there, I'm just like, we've never been to this place called the Blue Room. We're like, God, this gig, like, I just don't even know if I can go. And then you walk in at this bar that doesn't look that nice from, it's not that it looks bad from the outside, but like when you go inside, that place is fucking nice, dude.
And it's huge.
The stage, the production, like Al and William, I mean, it's like, it's top notch, you know what I mean? And like we walk in there and we're like, fuck yeah, we can do this. And then the set's only like 2 hours, so it's like we've been doing this Tin Roof shit. We're gonna fucking crush this. And, like, I just found my second win, and we fucking ripped it. And I think they paid us, like, $500. And then we had to drive all the way back that night because, the money just wasn't there. But, like, I said all that to say this is, like, you go and you take these risks that don't really pay a lot of money. And then, like, we started going back, and every time, we actually went back on a Thanksgiving one time. We went to Savannah. We do the Savannah. The whatever that place is.
Barrel House,
yeah. We went to Savannah on Thanksgiving. William's like, man, I need a band. We went up there for like $800. The car broke down like less than a mile to the venue, but we finally got it there. Like, we were trying to get back to our families, and the bass player we had that was filling in with us had a gig the next night in Tuscaloosa. So we like break down somewhere like about an hour out of Statesboro. We get this shitty hotel, roaches and shit like everywhere. We like find this like Firestone tires. They let us like borrow their tools, and Matt McElwain had to take the drive shaft out of the car. He just taped it to the car. It's still taped to the bottom of his car. to this day. And then we got home, and then like we got like halfway there, and like one of the tires had wires sticking out of it. Oh, we had a gig that night in Birmingham at Innisfree. So we get back, we play the gig at Innisfree, and then like, you know, by the end of it, we're just like tired as hell. But it's like you go do those gigs, and yeah, it fucking sucks. But like a year later, we went back to Statesboro, played a frat party, the same frat, but this time it paid $3,500.
And they gave more of a shit?
Yeah, they gave more of a shit. We had more of a production. And then we went over to the Blue Room and played that night, and it paid $1,000. So it's like fucking $4,500. That's pretty fucking good. You know what I mean? When you're in that world.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we go back in December. We have a song go #1, you know, and...
So wait, so December 4th was only your third time playing there?
No, we had played there a bunch. But I'm just saying, like the... you know, we'd gone back and done like other nights, you know, other runs, but maybe just three or four other times. But, you know, we played there in between the first time we went and then the frat gig. But like it would be like summer and stuff. But like the next year when frat season rolled around, doing all these, you know, quote unquote favors for William or whatever, just being willing to show up. You know what I mean? Paid off, you know what I mean? There's no such thing as a dead end gig. I firmly believe in that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's Statesboro just feels like I cannot wait. I'm waiting for it to pop up on the calendar when we're going to Statesboro again.
Yeah.
Like it's just for
real got laid.
Well, but also it's just
Sorry, Mom.
I enjoy the rowdy crowd that's down there. I mean, hell, that first night I had like 7 drinks thrown at me, but I was on such a high of just seeing it from the campfire to the writers round to the reaction videos to seeing a crowd sing back this song. And I had known you, but like I didn't know Terry and McElwain and Mitch that well. But just seeing like how much, like what that moment was like for you guys. And it just, the adrenaline rush of that room
and
is
it's like,
something.
You know, back to kind of like what we were talking about. It's like we were kind of the first ones getting out there and touring. You know what I mean? Like when this pandemic, when we were kind of phasing out of it and playing shows, which, you know, we might be going back into it. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it's getting weird. Things are getting weird again. But it's like we were the first, you know, the first ones doing it. I mean, we played shows that were social distanced, you know, and we had one show on the Milledgeville in Anderson, South Carolina, where we showed up and some girl was underage drinking, throwing up in the bathroom. The cops came in there and saw a place, you know, packed full of people. It's like, y'all can't have a concert here. So Ella got to play a whole set. And I said, we're at least playing the one song. And we got up and did like a 15-minute version of Dick Down in Dallas. And then they kicked everybody out.
And then the gorilla meet and greet out front.
Yeah, the gorilla meet and greet outside. It's freezing ass cold. The sky's like spitting rain. It was just, it was not on a list of things were it. That was not it. But we are going back there, right?
Yes.
In October?
Yep.
And we got Brent Gafford, Charlotte Pike opening it up for us.
Yeah, you got Brent and Lauren, and on that run too, I believe is Athens, and I believe Rome is on that run too.
Yeah, Peaches. We got Dawson with us at Peaches and Charlotte Pike. So
and then Athens, Georgia, the Warehouse, bro.
The Warehouse. That place is awesome. That was like probably one of the shows where it's like, all right, this shit's coming together.
Yeah, man, and the that whole night was really cool. And that what's been cool too, and I know you talked about it on the Raise Rowdy podcast, so bringing the friends along and bringing the family out and giving shots to folks that you believe in. That Athens show, what was cool about that one was Clay was out with us.
Yeah,
you
Clay
know,
was
like,
out with us.
And then Mitch drove down, and like that's what's been so cool about it, man. Is not everybody that blows up necessarily brings the crew out with them.
Yeah.
Like that speaks to your character. Like you want everybody in the crew and the family, so to speak, to be a part of it.
Well, it's like what I said earlier is I know I'm not like the best fucking country singer there is out there. I'm not the best songwriter, but like I have a little bit of power right now to you know, and it's just like, you know, you watch Muscadine, how they did with, you know, Jordan Fletcher, and you know, and how they've done with Fair and Rachel's, and just people that they believe in that can come out there, and their crowd can fall in love with them, and man, I just like. I can't talk about Ryan Nelson enough. I mean, you watch a guy like him, I'm not saying he's like a dinosaur to this town, but damn, he's been here a minute, and like when, like Job, and, he wrote songs, him and Riley were close. I remember living in Birmingham and like watching Luke Combs and all those guys go live on Facebook, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like him being in that crew. So it's like he watched that whole crew go up. It's like, man, it's just a matter of time. Like, it's hard to doubt somebody that never gives up. And it's just like, man, his music's so awesome. He's really good at what he does, writing songs, entertaining crowds. He knows how to party. He knows when not to, party. Like,
yeah,
I thought when we brought Ryan Nelson out, it would just be like absolutely insane between him and Terry. But honestly, man, Ryan Nelson is not that hard of a partier. I mean, he goes to bed before anybody else.
Yeah, and the thing
maybe
is,
he just goes so hard he goes to sleep. But
yeah,
like, who knows?
Age is definitely getting up there a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, having Ryan out is I agree with that 100%, and he gets the crowd, like the blue collar
like
crowd.
That show we played in Chicago was like, it was kind of weird the other night, but like before Ryan got off the stage, he said some shit into the microphone, and the whole place just erupted.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And Ella does that too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I've watched Ella do that, like not only opening for me, I've seen her do it for she opened for Parker, and she just knows how to work a crowd and knows how to do it. And that's the thing is like Ryan Nelson, all my friends that we've brought out on the road know how to play shows. They've done it. You know what I mean? It's not like, you see a lot of people put songs on TikTok or whatever, and they never even played a show. Don't even know where to even begin on like how to, have a band, or like their band plays on stage and they're like, there's just a bunch of dead time in between songs. Like, me and my crew, man, we learned how to not have dead time because you got to keep that tip bucket going. You know what I mean? Like, you got to keep them interested. You know what I mean? Short spans. But
yeah. Was it weird those like we'll start with again go back to that weekend of that first weekend with Statesboro and Savannah. Was it weird because those gigs were booked as your usual covered gigs to go in there and do it a little bit different? Was that weird for you guys to go out and?
It was a little weird, but like,
I mean, a good weird.
I think it would have sucked if we would have got the same pay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because our expenses were a little bit more, but like that's the thing. It's like, William and I can't say enough about William and Al. Like, they knew it was up, you know what I mean? And they took really good care of us, and they always do.
Well, I'm just saying, you guys being up there for 4 hours or 2 hours.
Well, Statesboro was always 2 hours, regardless if we were a cover band or not. But doing the 90-minute sets was like something that we had done a little bit of, or like a 50-minute set. So like we knew how to do it, but now it's like, dude, if I had to play 4 hours now, like. I don't even remember half the covers. You think it's muscle memory, but when you get away from doing that shit, it's like you just forget. Like, if I had to play for 4 hours, I just don't know if I could do it anymore. Yeah. And I remember, like, I would hear Gary or Charlie, like, talk about, I just couldn't imagine playing 4 hours. And, like, well, that's when I was still doing it. I was like, shit, I can. I'll never forget that. But, like, forget what that's like. Or I'll never not be able to do that. But honestly, like, the way we're doing it now is like the way to do it, and I would hate to, play for 4 hours straight,
bro. And
I mean, I could do it, but like if I really wanted,
and I'm sure the band could do it too.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think Mitch misses it sometimes.
He does, man. It's definitely a transition.
There's definitely parts of the 4 hour cover gigs that you miss because it's like, say we did like 3 days at Myrtle Beach. Like, it's like you show up, you unload your gear, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, eat some chicken fingers, drink, whatever. If they drink beer or whatever for the shows, I'd usually pound like 3 Red Bulls, play. We get done playing, just wrap our cords, push them back, and then go to the hotel or do whatever during the day you want to, and then go back and play for 4 more hours. So it's just like, you didn't really have to go anywhere. You didn't have to talk to anybody. nobody really cared to talk to you after the show, unless it was some like critter, you know what I mean? But like, it's just different, man. It's just a whole different.
Yeah, the meet and greet thing's got to had to be a bit of an adjustment for you.
Well, it's the way I see it is just like I used to play for 4 hours straight. So if I play for an hour and a half, I can go backstage, I can chug a water, I can take a piss, I can smoke a cigarette, I can do whatever. But I'm going back out there to talk to my fans because that couldn't take any more than an hour and a half. So it's like, I'm still doing work for 4 hours. I'm just not having to sing for 4 hours straight. So like,
yeah, man, and it goes such a long way, dude. I mean, what's been really cool to kind of watch this thing. I know you've been doing music a long time, like it's the 10 years you've been busting your ass doing this thing, but to see from December to now the super fans that have popped up, the people in
Randy Adams,
Randy Adams, Jason Schaefer. There's a whole bunch of other folks that are in there. Johnny, we know Johnny. She likes to hang out with Matt, but she still comes to. She pays her money and comes to these shows. Like
which Matt?
God, you're bad. But
so you just got to hit that trifecta, bro.
No.
Like a little league team, everybody gets a turn.
But like to see these folks like for so long. I mean, you talk about like what you and Terry talk about in a whole lot of nothing. To now, you've got people that are scheduling weekends and driving long places to come and watch you guys play your songs.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I mean, when I looked out in the crowd the other night, we're in fucking Chicago. And, I don't know, y'all hung out with some of them critters after the show. That one girl sang every word to Whiskey Miss Me. A couple of, there was a few of them in the crowd. Every word to Whiskey Miss Me. Every word to Lie Next to Me. Every word to Whole Lot of Nothing. You know what I mean? Like, of course, Dick Down in Dallas is this huge thing. Everybody knows that song. But, like, people are coming to shows and singing B-side, songs that have been out for years. So it's cool. Man, I've been having a ton of requests for this song that me and Terry wrote.
Which one?
Which it's called The Woman Behind the Music.
Yeah,
it's a cool idea, but it still needs ironing out.
My mom loves that song.
Yeah,
my mom sent me a screenshot when I first started working with you.
It's a $500 demo. Like that song is like.
Yeah, but I mean that's got to be crazy too. The messages of people listening to the old stuff.
Yeah,
the TL and the vest days way back in the day. That first
the bald spot and the spiked hair with gel in it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, what's been the as far as like crowds go or like oh shit moments? Talk about Chicago, but what's been like another one?
I mean,
like a random
there's like
place.
So many. I don't know if it's like when you asked me that, I just started thinking of like them talking about the song on Ridiculousness, like on the TV show. Like, that was insane.
I'm saying going to a city that you never thought you would go to, and people are giving a shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Midwest, that was pretty wild, right?
Wichita, which was not the biggest crowd, but I'll tell you what.
Is that the show we did with Priscilla?
No, that was the ones we did with Priscilla were Omaha and St. Paul, Nebraska.
Okay, yeah.
Wichita, Kansas was that wave one, the one that was supposed to be outside.
Yeah,
that
show was badass. There was only like 100 people there, but they were fucking there for every fucking song, and they were fucking in it. That was an awesome show. And then I'd say most recently the show we did with Jake Owen and Travis Denning in
Country Boom, Wisconsin.
12,000 people, screaming Dick Down in Dallas. Like, my favorite part was looking out into the crowd, and there was this dad holding this like 12-year-old, maybe 10-year-old girl on his shoulders, and she has both hands up and she's screaming Dick Down Dallas. And I remember just walking out of the show and like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like the black sheep of country music. Like, I felt like the guitar techs for one of those bigger guys like was just not having it. You know what I mean? Like, he was just like, But I was just like, yeah, what fucking first of three has a song that everybody out there sings? Like, there was people out in the crowd that were made their own Dick Down in Dallas shirts. You know
Dude,
what I mean?
we see that every night.
Sometimes I'm just like, fuck the politics of this, like, of this business. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I definitely, like, if I can have a song on the radio and I can sign a record deal, then fuck yeah, I want to do that. But at the same time, it's like the stigma with this Dick Down in Dallas shit sometimes with the suits, man. It's just like, damn, dude, like, everybody just wants to have a good time. I ain't hating on women. They know that, you know. Actually, it's 51 to 49 of women that listen to my music over men.
Yeah, and I can confirm at the shows
like,
it is a lot of females coming up.
We're empowering women since 2020. Amen. Shirts coming in September.
Dude,
so
I'm excited.
Ready.
I'm excited to sell that one. I'm excited for people to wear that one and do all that. But you talk about what's after Dick Down in Dallas, and it's out today.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's out.
Shut the Door, man. What for you? I mean, I know a lot of the backstory with it because I've been in the trenches with you the last 8 months, which I've been very grateful for, and I've been loving what I've been doing with you and everything. But for the listeners out there, what was that like trying to figure out what was next? You know.
So I started meeting with Jim Catino and Alex Maxwell, and you know, sometimes I know, you know, as far as like with Dick Down Dallas, I wasn't a writer on that song, but like sometimes I know that like sometimes the best song I can write is not the best song for me to put out at the moment. So we started just listening to other songs. I heard some songs that were cool and catchy, but they just weren't me, you know. And I'll never forget, I put my AirPods in. I had an email from Jim, and I was just like, because, I mean, we already had Backup Man. We knew that was going to be on it. Knew anything other was going to be on it. I knew whatever happened to that was going to be on it. And then I had a couple of other songs that I thought might be on it, but I was like, man, I might just want to do those as singles. So, like, you know, first time I heard Blue Collar Prayers, I was like, that's an anthem. That's the fans. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
We're blue collar, like, you know, we like fucking slow ride on a 2-lane highway, fishing, like, you know, being like our dads, like
hanging out in the cul-de-sac,
hanging out, you know, like I was like that, you know, Blue Collar Prayers is like, that's my fans, like that's an anthem for my fans. I'm definitely cutting that song. But when I put my headphones in, I was like, please be it, and I just took a deep breath and I closed my eyes and I listened to Shut the Door, and you know, the opening line says, I got scars and so do you, you know. Found out the hard way, hearts ain't bulletproof. And I'm just like, damn, that's me. Like, I've always been hard-headed my whole life. I mean, you know, I know I got sober at a young age, but like, you know, when it comes to love and fucking life up, I've been pretty good at it, you know, and I've been married, I've been divorced, you know, I was married for 5 years, and, you know, when I was 30 years old, you know, my dad died when I was 26, and then, you know, when I was 30 years old, you know, 29 years old, I started going through a divorce, and, you know, when I was 30, I was like, fuck it, you know what I mean? I've been doing this music shit forever. I'm just going to move to Nashville and see what happens, and, like, you know, I mean, dude, 90% of the time I felt like a fucking loser because I was 30 years old, and all my friends up here, like, fucking 22, 21, way better, like, Joy Beth, like, when I met her, you know, fucking 10 times better songwriter than I'll ever be. You know what I mean? And she's like, she's only 22. You know what I mean? Like, I'm living with Ella and Clay, and, you know, Clay and Mitch had graduated college. You know, I'm a high school dropout. You know, Ella's got, you know, boundless limit of talent, you know, and I just like, honestly, like, maybe I fucking showed up too late, you know, like, kind of like that whole, like, regret thing. I took the fucking wrong road, you know, and like, and I'm, you know, I got sober when I was 19 and didn't do it right, you know. I'm sitting here like, fuck, you know, I've just fucked my life up sober, you know, like not that I wanted to drink or anything, but it's like, what was the fucking point, you know, of all that?
Yeah, especially getting
like,
especially you had been doing music for a minute.
So it's like, you know, and then Dick Down in Dallas on a whim does what it does, and my whole life changes. And then I meet Kara, and then, you know, I'm like, damn, I really love this girl. And then, like, you know, we're together, and things have been great. Like, she's unlike anybody I've ever met, and she's very patient with me. She has a way to tell me to fucking get my shit together without telling me to get my shit together.
That
you know
she
what I mean?
does, yeah.
Like, it's like everything that I ever needed and wanted from a partner, like, she has it. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, so like those first two lines just hit me, you know, and then it's like I've, you know, tried to move on since my divorce, and like maybe probably did a little too early, and I dated women that weren't my speed, or I wasn't their speed, or maybe I just wasn't ready, and like, or they hurt me, and I just felt like I was cut so deep that I was never gonna be able to like find love again, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like that line that says, "We both been hurt and felt that burn, but I ain't him and you're not her." That's just like a line that speaks to me so deep. It's just like, she's shown me, like, Kara's nothing like that. You know what I mean? And, I love this woman, so I'm going to fucking make sure that, and I've been dealing with my shit. I've been going to therapy, and like, through the years, it was all worth the wait, and it was all like this slow process to like become who I am today and be where I am and be able to firmly, stand in the fact with who I am. And it's like, I don't regret my past, and like I've never shut the door on Dicktown and Dallas. Like it's all a part of the process, but like all those negative emotions and all those things that like held me back from, taking that leap of faith and learning to love again, and like, just letting go of all that negative angst and just shutting the door on that stuff is what that song means to me, if that makes sense.
Dude, and it's the perfect title track.
Yeah, Carlton Anderson.
Bro,
thank God for that guy.
Hell of a writer, man. I haven't met him, but I'm a big fan of his work and have known that name, and that's awesome for that to be the song right there. And you talk about like the mental health stuff, and that's something that you really you never shy away from the mental health stuff. You always mention it in the live show and everything like that. And it's something that it's great that you speak up on that. A lot of other artists do that too. Charlie Muncaster, big mental health advocate and stuff. What's all that been like? Because this is something I haven't really like talked to you a super ton about, and with you all the time. But what's the mental health stuff been like since all this kind of stuff's happened? Because your phone's probably blowing up more than it ever has in the last 8 months. Like there's just all this extra stuff out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that I really struggle with the most is like, is still self-doubt. You know what I mean? It's like I moved to town to be a fucking songwriter. Like I said, like I felt like my time had passed to be an artist or be that guy. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna move to Nashville and I'm gonna become that guy that Bradley or fucking Lane calls that says, hey, this guy needs these kind of songs. Like, come, I'm gonna send him up to Nashville. You write with him, and then they're gonna play writers rounds with you and things like that. Yeah. You're gonna show them around town and be that big brother. Because figure. Like in a way, I was a big brother to Jimmy Holt. You know what I mean?
Who's doing great.
And like I've in a way, like I fucking helped Clay find gigs early on when he first started out. Like I'm okay with that role. I'm 110% convinced that like I'm on this earth to play the role that my higher power designs. But like I didn't know that he still wanted me to be an artist, which is a great thing because like that's really what I want to do, and like I know that me never giving up and like overcoming all these obstacles and shining in that light shows people that if you don't give up on your dream and you just go for it, that the shit works out. And that brings a lot of hope to people. So I'm grateful for that. But I still struggle with self-doubt. It's like sometimes I feel like, it's like I moved here to be a songwriter. And now that I'm doing the artist thing full-time, which I love, and it's what I'm best at, like, I feel like we always want what we ain't got, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's like, sometimes I wish I had McKinney's skill set to just be that Swiss Army knife that can go write a pop song, go write a fucking folk song, go do this, go do that.
Go out on the road with somebody.
It's not that I can't. It's just like I know my role and I know what I'm good at right now, but it's like, your insecurities and the devil or, the anxiety, the fear, whatever, like to play on that shit. So it's like, for me, it's just finding that balance to like be like, all I can do is what's in front of me today, and that's what I'm going to do. And you know what I mean? We'll worry about all that other shit later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and what you were
like I do, man. When I'm in my bunk, like I'm not always in there bunk socking it up. I'm in there like fucking studying lyrics and shit.
Yeah, you're studying lyrics.
By the way, a bunk sock is jacking off. That's what that means. If any of y'all are wondering, but like, I mean, I'm sitting there studying lyrics. I'm I'm doing meditations, trying to find a way to get inspired, like, cause like, it's not like, music is my full-time job. It's all I think about 24/7. And I don't have a problem with that. I love that. That's what I love about my life, is that I'm always, creating and have that, mindset. But like when I'm on tour, it's like I'm on tour. I'm out doing the artist thing. But like Sunday, I know that I got fucking 3 rights Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So I got to come up with, I gotta, that's the thing. Is like, I know what I want to say as an artist, but I need that time to like come up with, what do I want to say this week? Like if I'm going to put a 12-song record together, what do I want that to say? You know what I mean? So it's like, I just have to find that time, and then it's finding a balance of just having off time. You know what I mean? Of like, go fishing on my boat that I bought with cash, from Dick down in Dallas.
Go out fish with McAway and try to catch as many fish as he does.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck him.
But another song on there, and it kind of goes with what you were just talking about with your story, which it's the combination real quick, because you didn't talk about them a whole lot in that first episode, but 2 guys who have believed in you for a long time, and you believed in them as writers. Mark Addison Chandler, Davis Corley, and Anybody Other, bro.
Yeah.
That song to me, if you're thinking like quintessential, like Trey Lewis, like your story, that song to me is just it. But how'd you meet those guys real quick? Backtracking.
Oh, man, I don't even remember how Freak Show, Music Row Freak Show. Terry Joe, Kyle Coolahan introduced me to Terry Joe when I first moved to town. And then I would just show up, and then I think the first time I met Mark Addison Chandler, he handed me a business card. I was like, what a fucking tool. You know what I mean? Nobody does that. It's not 2010.
Yeah.
But I can't remember. I think me and Mark eventually started talking. I think we actually played like on a round together. He was like, man, this guy's fucking, I really believe in this guy. Like, he's a star. And that was before any of that shit, and he was like, let's fucking get together. And then COVID hit, but we had a ride on the books, and we just did it over Zoom, me, Davis, and Mark. And I was really apprehensive about the Zoom ride, because I don't typically do well in a situation like that. But, dude, we wrote the song in like an hour and a half. It's called Back to You. It's one of my favorite songs that I've written even still. It's kind of like a love song. And then we wrote a bunch of songs together. I had that girl down in Alabama that I was seeing for a little while, and she told me she had a. If you come to the live show, I tell this story a lot, so I'll just ramble it off real quick. But me and this girl, we were hanging out. I thought we were about to start dating, and she called me up one night, and she was like, "Trey, I got to tell you something." I said, "What's that?" She said, "Well, I met somebody," and I was like, "Well, damn," I was like, I guess I read that one wrong." Fast forward like 2 years later went by, and we still talked every now and then. I guess she would call me when he wasn't acting right or whatever. And then she called me and she was like, I'm single now. We broke up, and I was like, okay. And just went over to her house. We had sex, and then after that I didn't talk to her. But I fell for it again. That's the thing. It's like I went over there, we hung out, and then like I'm thinking, this girl's like ready to do something now, you know what I mean? But back then, when the first time we were talking, anyways, we won't go too much longer into this. But the time we were talking before that, I was the one that wasn't really ready for a relationship, but I was enjoying what we had going on. And then the next time we started hanging out, she was where I was way back then, and I was kind of ready to like settle down, you know what I mean? So like, we didn't talk, but I called Mark. I was on my way to my sister's house. I was like, dude, I got this song like about being somebody's backup plan. And then we wrote Backup Man. But, me and Davis and Mark, we have it every other Wednesday.
Yeah, I know. They're on your calendar.
They're on my calendar, yeah.
Which that says a lot that you want to that you just continuously write with like a group of people.
Of course,
you find your guys or your girls that you write good shit with.
Like, I mean, now that I'm by the time this is out, I will have inked my publishing deal with Sony. So now that I'm with Sony, it's like they're putting me rights with all these people that are fucking like, I'm basically just sitting in the room and telling them what I want to say. These motherfuckers are unreal.
Yeah, you're in the artist role.
Yeah, I'm in the artist role for sure. But with Mark and Davis, it's like I can really just sit in there and really grind it out and hash it out of like what we want to do. And even with Sony, I'm just like, hey man, these are my people. Like, let's get them on some. Some of these rights.
Well, that's what you need to fix your itch for the songwriting thing, because like the way you talk about music, and we both have addictive personalities. You know, like very heavy. So like obviously with the drinking, with other shit over the years and things like that. But like my passion, I've found an addiction, like being around like the music business and being around like when I was doing radio early on and doing this shit, talking to a microphone. You found an addiction in music, you found something to do with your hands. And I think that's why you have this other gear, like where you go all in and you had it back when you were going through all the shit and just grinding, and you've still got it now where you're like, fuck, I want to write 3 times a week.
Yeah. Like, I want to keep going. I want to get as many songs as I can. Like, that's another thing too. It's like, I talk about Gary and Charlie a lot, but like, that's one thing they did. They had a pub deal with, Luke Laird at, I was at Creative Nation.
Yeah.
Like when quarantine hit, them motherfuckers put out an album. You know what I mean? Like, they got so many songs, and I want to be like that. I want to have so many songs that, if something happened to me where I couldn't write songs anymore or something like that, or if I just wanted to put out like 4 albums back to back, I could if I wanted to.
Yeah, and you're getting there.
And we're getting there, and it's like I just want to stockpile stuff, you know what I mean, and get the best songs. But, man, Anybody Other is just such a sweet song because, like, we found a way to make it kind of funny and cool without it being a ballad, because I can write a ballad. I've got so many ballads that I want to put out. Like, I might just put out a ballad record, you know what I mean? But I'll probably just sprinkle them in, throughout the years. Like Believers, like one of my favorite songs ever written. I mean, we have a fucking Facebook fan group called The Believers. I don't even play that song at live shows anymore. I wrote another song with Davis and Jordan Rager called Something Out of Nothing that's, like, amazing. But Anybody Other is, like, we found a cool way to, like, make something very serious, kind of lighthearted and upbeat and make people feel it. But it's like, I could have been 5A All-State, you know what I mean? I could have played football, I played football from the time I was 6 until I was 13. My brother kept playing through high school. If he had my height, he probably would have played fucking, Division I. But I didn't. I decided to do drugs and hang out at the lake and smoke pot. You know what I mean? But it's like if I wouldn't have ever went down the road of drug addiction and alcoholism, I would have never got sober and bought myself a guitar and taught myself how to play it.
Yeah, and you would have never had the marriage and the divorce, like all the pain, man. It's like you said, like you talk about with the man upstairs, like it's you went through all that shit, and like if you hadn't, like, you wouldn't be Trey Lewis.
But like what I love about Davis is like he's such a writer for the artist. We were sitting there and we were writing the chorus, and it's like, if I was anyone other than who I am, I might be getting drunk, wishing on what might have been. He was like, because you don't drink. And I was like, damn, that's it, Might feel a little older by now. Might have some roots in this ground, like, I might look back and not like what I see if I'd have been anybody other than me. And it's like, that's it, dude. That is the crux of like real life and like who I am. It's like, if I'd have done this, and that's just anybody, if you would have taken this path or that path, and if you would have stayed in radio, like my dad used to say to me all the time, he'd be like, man, do what you love, don't worry about money, it'll all work out. I'm a fucking accountant and I hate my job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that was just so huge to me because like where I grew up, I went to Vestavia, which is like, rich kids. And, everybody's got their whole life mapped out of like, yeah, I'm going to go to college at Alabama. I'm going to get a fucking business degree, and then I'm going to go sell insurance for my dad's company, what I mean?
And then take it over when he's done.
Yeah, and take it over when it's done. Like, they've got everything fucking planned out.
Very similar. My hometown's very similar.
And, like, dude, like, I had no clue what I wanted to do. I know I like to get fucked up and do drugs, you know what I mean? But, like, I just remember going to talent shows and being like, man, I could sing better than that guy. But, like, I would never do it. You know what I mean? It took what it took, and it took me to go through what I went through to get to where I am. I'm not saying everything happens for a reason, but maybe it does. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just cool, man. I think that's just life, is that, and that's the message. And it's a message song without, being too preachy. It's like, it's a personal, it comes from personal experience. And it's like, you just gotta roll with the punches and the things that people say that matter don't matter.
Yeah, man, that's very much a big thing. So, yeah, we talked about four of the 5 songs on there. So the 5th one, which is funny because for me, this is another sitting around the fire during COVID song.
Yeah.
A Matt McKinney classic. Whatever happened to that?
Whatever happened to that? I remember the day they wrote it. Like, this was before anybody had a pub deal or anything like that. And it's like when I first moved to town, like, Russell Sutton and Kyle Coulihan, like, dude, I looked up to those guys, still do in a way, I mean, hell, they've been here for so long. Kyle's super talented, he's got a great voice. And Russell, I mean, dude, I'll never forget. I moved up here, I just went through my divorce, and when I was married, I raised a son that was, like my own. And I go to Freak Show, it's my first night. I mean, dude, I would come up, when I lived up here, I would go to writers' nights. I'd walk in, maybe shake 2 people's hands, but nobody would talk to me. I just felt so alone, And I talked about that a little bit in the other podcast. But I'll never forget, I walked into Freak Show, and I was sitting there up against the bar, and I knew a couple of people. I knew Kyle and Terry Joe, but they didn't know me. They didn't know, like, all of what I came from. And I heard Russell Sutton fucking play My Boy, the Elvis Shane song.
Yep.
It was before it was, a cut on his record or anything like that. And I remember just sitting in that bar and crying my eyes out and fucking just jetting to my car and going home that night and laying on my mattress that was on the floor. And just, I was like, fuck, I'm really here. And that used to be my life. You know what I mean? And, like, I don't know. I just thought it was really cool that, like, those guys were a part of that. But I'll never forget, me and McKinney and Kyle got to write with Kyle Coulihan. We were like, fuck, man, we got to write with Kyle Coulihan. Like, let's go, baby. Like, that's a big deal. You know what I mean? When you write with somebody that's been in town for a few years. And I'll never forget when Russell and McKinney and Kyle had that write together. I was like, dude, that's awesome that you're writing with them, because both those guys have pub deals or some kind of deal, you know what I mean? And, like, they're pretty well known in town. It's like high school with money up here, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they're in the other class. They're in the class above us.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like, it was just cool that they were writing. And I knew McKinney was going to crush it because he's a fucking badass,
Yeah.
And I think he walked in with that idea, and then they finished the song. And dude, like, I didn't really think nothing of the song, really, but that was another song where Mitch was like, dude, I listen to this song every day. It's a hit. And I was like, fuck it, I'm cutting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I remember McKinney sitting around. I remember the first time I got to know McKinney was sitting around, and I was after a NASCAR Sunday. It was after he took a lot of beer funnels, and we were sitting around Maxwell's little fire, Maxwell and Dawson's little fire thing that they have when they have, like, the little stovetop thing that goes over it and whatever. And McKinney's playing. He's like, check this one out, and he plays Whatever Happened to That. And I was like, that's a cool song. So to see it beyond the project, and again, it's another song that your fans are going to relate to. It's another song that resonates with you. Like, it's really cool the writers that are on all these songs, because they all
a lot of McKinney cuts coming down the line too.
I'm sure, man, and that's a great thing. It's great for him, and great for you.
He's like my Ray. He's like my Ray, like Luke Combs, Ray Fulcher, or like Zach Brownpan. What's the guy's name? Came to our show.
Wyatt Durrett.
Yeah. He's just, man, he's so good. I mean, I just think he's going to have, like, and I always tell him, I was like, you're going to have 50 number ones, I'm telling you.
Yeah, just keep
I just hope a couple are with me, you know what I mean? I hope he never gets too cool to let me cut his songs.
Well, you know where he lives now, so you can go and get a hold of him, get a hold of him real quick.
But it's cool, man. Me and him were standing in the kitchen last night, both shirtless, just eating pizza rolls and pizza, and just talking about music, and we're just like, how cool is this that we get to just focus on music all the time? Like, it's not like, oh, I got to go work downtown Broadway, or, I got to go play a cover gig.
Did you ever have a job in town, or were you always going back down to Bama and doing stuff with Terry and Matt?
So Alex, my manager, he owns publishing company in Alabama, and he
You mean a production company.
Production company.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Publishing.
Oh yeah, production company in Alabama. Publishing company in Alabama sounds like a disaster. Sounds like a ripoff. Yeah, we're gonna take 100% of your publishing and give you $1 a month. Sounds terrible. Anyways, he owns a production company, and he hooked me up with this company called CP Rigging, and I just got it as like, because like I would work with Alex doing production work. I mean, that's how I met Ben Miller. You know, I was like a runner for the Riley Green music video shoot. There was this girl, and you know, like that's how I made a living when the gigs weren't sufficient. I would go wrap cables or run this or run that. So there's this company called CP Rigging in Nashville, and I came up here and I worked. I would, you know, they had jobs that you could go do. It was like 4-hour minimum. It was like $15 an hour. But man, honestly, I just did that kind of like as a backbone if the gigs were like, because some of the gigs I would play only pay like $150. By the time you drive to Birmingham, you're only making $100. And you eat something, that's like only $70, you know, just to, you know, see. But man, my family was so supportive of me moving to Nashville. My stepmom paid like my first 2 months rent. So like I was able to get like a good nest egg up and like get my shit together, you know. Plus I had like low overhead. My bills weren't much, you know.
Yeah.
But like, so I only ended up working at that job. I probably did like 2 or 3 jobs, and I was like, fuck it, I'm not doing this. I'm just gonna solely rely on music. And I did, and it worked out. You know, like I said, I was able to get that nest egg up, and then if we were able to, you know, if Music Garden or, you know, one of those agencies downtown was able to, down in Alabama was able to land me a couple frat gigs here and there, I could put back some money and, you know, all that stuff. So
yeah, absolutely. No, that's because I wasn't sure if you had worked a gig, because I know you worked at what was the name of the smoothie shop?
Tropical Smoothie.
Tropical Smoothie, because I know you talk about that and stuff, but I know that was in Bama and not up here.
Yeah.
So I did something today that we don't normally do. I asked, I put up on the Instagram for fan questions.
Okay, nice.
People to ask. So first one, we'll get it out of the way. Randy Adams, I think it's Randy.
Oh, what's his name?
What's his name out there in South Kakalaki? Biggest fish you ever caught?
Biggest fish I ever caught was only 5.5 pounds.
That's it?
Believe it or not. Yep.
Damn.
It was during quarantine down at his name is Noah Egan. He has a farm down there.
I'm hoping you and McElwain will do better than that down in Beanville.
Beanville, yeah.
Down in Beanville when you guys go down there.
Dean Jackson, baby.
Dude, yeah, Dean, he's the man.
Our fishing guide, he told us, has 2 wives.
He's does.
Fucking awesome.
Dude, he was the perfect.
He wasn't going to tell us until we told him about the song.
Yeah,
he was like they can handle it.
Oh yeah, no, I hope he comes out to a show eventually.
He's a real cocksmith.
He is, man. He's a great dude.
2 women, I couldn't imagine.
Then we've got Ashley Lammers, and this is a fun one for both of us. What was your first thought of each other when you first met?
I will tell you this: you're a lot different than I thought you were.
What'd you think I was gonna be?
Oh, I just thought you were just gonna be like this overconfident guy, just like kind of like just real New York, and you know. But you're like a soft, sweet guy. You know?
Yeah, dude. I try. Maybe that's because I was coming off the bouncing thing.
Yeah.
Like when I first started with Gary and Charlie, I was coming right off. I was fresh off Broadway.
Yeah.
Where you're taught to be a certain way. I did like a year of that. And,
but like, dude, we're like family. Like I feel like I know you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like I know you. Like I know what your schedule is. Know what you like. Know what you don't like. Know.
Well, me and you we're real tell-alls. You know what I mean?
Both of us, yes, we are. What was
your impression when you first met me?
I was thinking that so I honestly didn't really like, I had put one and one together at Kick. When I first met you, I mean, I gave you shit for dipping Skull Peach, but that's just small talk amongst dippers. Why do you dip Skull? Like, have you ever dipped anything else?
I dipped Copenhagen Long Cut for like 5 years.
No shit.
Yeah, which is like the most badass shit you can dip.
How do you go from that?
I'll fuck you up.
How do you go? Yeah, that's what Mitch dips. How do you go?
The only more hardcore than that is Skull Snuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, not Skull Snuff, but Copenhagen Snuff.
Yeah, where it's like super.
Yeah, so like when I was like, I guess when I was smoking weed and shit back in the day, we used to smoke peach white owls, roll our blunts in that before we like realized that losers did that and that you should smoke Swisher Sweets.
Yeah.
You know? But so I did that, and then like I dipped not Copenhagen, like in high school and like, you know, younger years, I dipped Skull Apple and Skull Vanilla and shit like that.
Oh, you're old school with the vanilla. See, I got into it after the vanilla. I wish I could have tried vanilla. It sounds interesting, but also sounds kind of terrible.
But one day I was like looking for I would always try, like when I was married and like living low budget, like I always try to find like a cheaper dip. Well, there's this gas station called Wayne's. It's in Kimberly, Alabama, or like Warrior, Alabama. It's over by TP Miller's. And I saw this Timberwolf peach. It was 99 cents. Ugh. I was like, let me just fucking try it. Bought it. And then I just like never turned back. I've always been on peach.
But you've upgraded from Timberwolf to Skull.
To Skull, yeah.
Which is a lot better.
Yeah, I didn't like Skull Peach at first. I liked Timberwolf better, but now I like Skull Peach best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my first thought of you was you were a hell of a kickball pitcher. And I think part of the reason you liked to pitch is because you didn't want to move that much. I think that was part of the reason you pitched, which I had a little too much Delta 8 last kickball game, and I pitched most of the time. So I didn't want to be running around myself.
Freaking out, yeah.
I wasn't freaking out, but I was like, if a fly ball comes to me in the outfield, I'm toast. You know, I'm going to let Randy Nelson take care of the fly balls, do his SIGs in the outfield. But I thought of you as being a really good dude, and then I started hearing your jokes and getting to know you. I was like, damn, this dude's funny. And then the LaCroix boys, like, still have that picture on my phone from back in, had to be last fall, of us holding the LaCroix. We were both a little bit thinner than we are now.
Oh, yeah.
It was when you had the fresh mustache.
Fresh mustache.
Yeah.
I always wonder if people just think like I'm like a dick and just loud and inappropriate. You know what I mean?
I think you,
because I can be. You know?
Yeah, I can be too. Yeah. I definitely can be too. But I think when people come out to the shows and stuff, and when people, has it been weird being a social media personality now? Has that been kind of, because you weren't doing a whole lot of stuff on social media like before all this, right?
I mean, I think like what you see on social media now is just like maxified. Like there's a picture of me with my pants pulled up to my nipples. Like I would just post that kind of stuff every now and then. But Bonner's really good at like knowing that, you know, we got to post a lot and, you know, kind of knowing who I am and like, you know, everything he posts, he's like, hey, is this good to post? Do you like this caption? I'll be like, no, make it more ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like,
make it like I'm saying it.
Yeah. So like, you know, I think the kind of content that I created before now is just maxified and it's just more.
Well, I mean, I
think too, it's like the whole thing with the reaction videos and TikTok really changed the game for me, and like social media aspect of things is like that creative muscle is like a whole new part of the game that every artist should be doing. Like you have your creative side for songwriting, you have your creative side for the live show, authenticity sells. You know what I mean? Like you have to. It's part of it, and like I'm speaking to, you know, artists. If y'all are listening to this, you have to do it. There's no like, oh, I don't want to do any of that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the days of getting big without social media are over.
Those days are over. You know what I mean? Like, you're not even, you know, even if you don't ever want to sign to a label, like, people want to know you. People want to know what kind of person you are. You know, people want to know what kind of shit you're into. People want to know that, you know, that you're normal. I know for me, my fans like to know that I'm just a normal guy. You know what I mean? That like, yeah, I'm a little fucking weird. You know what I mean? Like, I like doing ridiculous shit. You know what I mean? I like the shock value type stuff, you know? But it's like people want to know that. People all the time ask me what's my favorite beer, and I'm like, I don't drink. But when I did, this was it. But I don't drink because I'm allergic to it. I break out in handcuffs. They're like, oh, man, that's hilarious, you know? But congratulations on your sobriety. So it's like you just have to do it. You know what I mean? You have to, like, come up with ways to be creative to, you know, how can more people get to know me?
Yeah, so adding to that, new guy moves to town from, let's just say the deep south somewhere.
Yeah.
Moves to Nashville. What would you tell him? Besides the using social media, even if you don't want to, like, what would your advice be?
Moving here.
New cat moves to town.
Of course, all the other shit, like go out, meet people, be a good person, don't be a piece of shit, don't steal people's song titles, ideas, melodies, but just go out and meet people. And if you see somebody that's like from your hometown, don't just expect that you're just going to go up and be best friends with them. Get your own shit going. You know what I mean? Like, and let things happen organically. I feel like a lot of times people try to force, friendships on other people that have been here a while. And Nashville's weird. You know what I mean? You got to learn how to, like, have conversations with people. I mean, hell, I made mistakes when I was here. I mean, I hit on girls that, are now friends with Ella, you know what I mean? And, like, write songs with Ella and shit. And they're like, I don't know about that Trey guy. And Ella's like, he's harmless, you know what I mean? But, like, you got to make mistakes, but, like, at the same time, like, just don't force it. But my biggest advice to anybody that wants to do music, whether they're living in Nashville or not, I think Nashville is definitely the right move if you want to, do country music or, it's like, I mean, we got everything here. We got the agents, they're going to book you. You know what I mean? We got the songs, they're here, you know what I mean? The connections, all that stuff's here. It's like Walmart versus Dollar General.
Yep, plenty of places to play.
Do you want to go to fucking Dollar General to get all your groceries and everything you need? Or do you want to go to Walmart where you can buy a fucking fishing pole, you can go buy some fucking paper towels, toilet paper, food, you can get some underwear, some socks, like, you know what I mean? This is the Mecca. It's all right here. But, like, for me, I fucking did the road for 6 years and learned how to play in a cover band and learned how to entertain a crowd and, like, when was the right time to pull my cable out of my guitar when they fucking muted the speakers. You know what I mean? Some people just don't know that stuff, the little things. So it's good to have a mixture of the two. Make sure that you're playing shows all the time, whether it's, cover band or original music, But, like, that's my advice. If you love music and it's something that you really want to do, always do it. But if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, to be famous, to make a shit ton of money, then just quit now. You know what I mean? Like, but if you're doing it because you feel it's like what God put you on this earth to do, and it's like something that you love to do and something that makes you feel like you're thriving deep down in your chest and your heart, and you're willing to do it at any cost, I mean, like, missing, all your friends are going to go to fucking, after you graduate college or whatever, all your friends are going to start getting married. You're going to have to miss some weddings. You know what I mean? You might not be able to go home for every little family function. Like, you know what I mean? There's a price has to be paid to be able to do this thing. And it's not always fun. It's not always glamorous. And you got to fight the demons in your mind about, telling you to give up and that you suck. You know what I mean? You got to push through all that, and it's not the easiest thing. But if it's what you want to do, you got to find a way to make it work. And how I did that was I played cover gigs. I mean, I remember 2 years ago, I was riding in my van and I told God, I said, if this is all I ever get to do is play in a cover band on the weekends and write songs with my friends during the week, that's fine. If that's what you want me to do, God, that's what I'll do. But screw you, man. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just honest. You know what I mean? And having that relationship with God is like, or some kind of higher power, is super important, so you kind of have like a needle in the compass type of thing. But that's the best advice I can give because that's my experience. You know what I mean? Like, I can't tell you what this guy or what this guy did. All I can do is speak from my experience, and that's I love music. I loved it back then. I found a way to make it work to where I can make a decent living. I mean, hell, up until let's see. I mean, I think it's probably been like 2 years since I asked my maybe 2.5 years since I asked my family for money. But, like, let's see, I'm 33, so, I mean, at 30, 31, I was still calling home. I needed some money. You know what I mean? Because, like, times were tough. So, you just got to, find a way to make it work.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man.
I mean, I fucking sold my car to record Whiskey Miss Me. You know what I mean?
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, my Honda Civic. It was a green Honda Civic. Only got $500 for it, and it cost $3,000 to record the song. But that was a start. You know what I mean?
Damn. Yeah, I did not know that. I mean, and what's something else that's been really cool is going and seeing, watching you get to live out your dream and watching it all come together, and a lot of these full circle moments and going to these markets. And you got a big one tomorrow night.
Yeah.
This is coming out on release day. Rock the South.
Rock the South.
You were supposed
fucking Coleman, Alabama.
Yeah, you were supposed to be on for originally what was an early opening slot for like 20-something minutes, and then come to find out one of the later slots for 40 minutes on the big stage. I mean, I don't really understand Rock the South. I haven't been there before, but from what I've heard, it is like it's the festival of the South. What does it mean to you to be going down there doing a slot like that?
So I have a friend. His name's Patrick McCarty. He has this company called Highway 20 Entertainment, and he manages artists. He never managed us, but he would always try to help us get gigs. And it was me, Matt Bennett, and Casey Thrasher. Somehow he got like an in with Rock the South, and he was able to have 3 acoustic openers at 3. I played at 3:00. I played on the day that Luke Bryan played, and dude, we didn't know what in-ear monitors were. We didn't, we had a monitor on the stage with those loud ass speakers. I got up there. We were supposed to play for a 20-minute set. And I played it was me, Terry, McElwain we were on the catwalk. McElwain played a cajon. Terry played his acoustic. And I couldn't hear shit. There was like a delay because of the way those big line array speakers work. And we played 3 songs, and I was like, all right, we're fucking done. We're out of here. And we went and played at Tin Roof that night. But I was like, well, it was cool to people back home, and we played Rock the South, whatever. But there wasn't near as many people there that are going to be there when we play at 4:00. You know what I mean? It's going to be fucking awesome. And I was like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here. I was like, we'll never play that again, but we learned a big lesson.
And how many years ago was that?
That was 4 or 5 years ago. And then here we are now. We've toured all across the country. We've played shows. I've had a #1 song, a Billboard #1 song that's certified gold. And we're about to play the biggest music festival in Alabama.
The day after the EP comes out.
We are getting paid, son. You know what I mean? It's just, the day my EP's coming out, hopefully I can firm my pub deal up tomorrow and sign it. It's just be a record-breaking week, and it's just when you think about all of it all together, it's it's really it's a full circle moment, and it's just it's you can't even dream this shit up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's unreal. Wild too, because in 2 weeks, another. I mean, not necessarily to that extent, but you talk about full circle moments.
Yeah.
We go to Myrtle Beach, place where you guys have played a lot at a venue, getting paid to play your damn songs, and then Raleigh, which is another place.
Railed out in Raleigh.
Yeah, dude, places, and Columbia, South Carolina is another one. These towns that you guys.
Yeah, dude. When we played in, all right, so the Tin Roof in Columbia is right next door to the Senate.
Yeah,
and we used to be the cover band that would play at the Tin Roof Columbia, and then people would go to shows at the Senate, come to Tin Roof after. We played at the fucking Senate, and then our friend Matt Bennett was playing. Just so happened to, he's from Georgia but lives in Alabama. Just so happened to be playing at Tin Roof that night. So we played at the Senate, and then we walked over next door, and our friend Matt Bennett was playing. It was just cool, full circle moment, man.
Yeah, dude, and there's gonna be more of those, man, and it's super.
But dude, it just goes right back to the song that me and Terry wrote together, "Whole Lot of Nothing."
It really
you can pack it all. You can drown in a bottle and pass through the years, or you can pack it all up and face your fears.
Yeah, McElwain caught me that one night. I think it was Bristol, Tennessee. Where I was when I'm selling the merch, I'm in different spots. Sometimes I see the show, sometimes I don't. That one I was like right to the side. So I was able to like see it, and seeing that crowd in Bristol at Thunder Valley Tavern, I think it was called, singing back. A lot of them were singing back "Whole Lot of Nothing" that night, and I even fucking got emotional. And I've only known you now for about a year now, but just to know the backstory and to see you guys out, see you, but also see your boys that have been in the trenches with you, and see the guy Alex who's believed in you for so many years. That's a part of this, and like it's the crew that we've got going, man. It's really cool and really special. So it's awesome.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I love that song. It's definitely a badass moment to share every night with Terry and McElwain. I mean, share it with everybody, but me and Terry wrote that song together, and it's just a cool thing to have that moment. And like when I wrote that chorus, I wrote it when I moved to Nashville. Like me and Terry had already written that song, and all we had was the hook and the verses. And I just remember sitting on my mattress that was on the floor. I was like, you can pack it all up. You can drown in a bottle and pass through the years, or pack it all up and face your fears. And, in a lot of ways, I felt like, a lot of people back home are just drowning in a bottle, just passing through the years. And, I just said, fuck it, and packed it all up. And I don't know. It's just cool that, it was cool then when we wrote it, but now it's even fucking cooler because it worked out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It worked out. And how long this lasts? Fuck, I don't know. But it's cool that it happened.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I was gonna ask, because I know you're I've been needing to get on it, and Ben Miller's been on my ass about getting on it, about making like a vision board or note sheet or whatever.
Yeah, I added something to my vision board last night.
What's that?
I want to play the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, man.
I've been watching that Dirt Road Diaries. Have you?
I haven't seen that yet. I've heard
Amazon?
nothing but good things about it, though.
Yeah, and I just heard Luke Bryan. He said, well, nobody can say shit. Cause, he didn't say it like this. He said it in a much more Christian way, but he's, much more Luke Bryan way. He said, nobody can say shit because I played the Grand Ole Opry. You know what I mean? But, dude, like, Luke, you don't think about it because Luke Bryan was such, like, a mega star. But, like, he really earned it, Like, he did all the shit we're doing right now. He played.
Bro, and he got a little bit of a later start getting up here, too, from what I understand.
Yeah, he used to play at Dingus, and and they have video on the show of him playing in Statesboro. And but, like, the same thing. Like, he brought Cole Swindle up with him and, like, had him on the road. And
Aldine brought Luke along, and there were people like that. And he started out as a writer with the Billy Currington cut. And
yeah, man, it's crazy. It's really good, and you look at this song By Dirt that he did with Jordan Davis, and then, like, you look at this song that he just put out, Songs You Never Heard. Like, it seems like a lot of the older guys, like sometimes Blake Shelton and Kenny Chesney and Luke Bryan, like, you think those guys are on their way out because there's, like, this new class coming up. But Luke Bryan goes and does some, he does a song By Dirt that's going to be, it's going to be musical event of the year. I mean, it's an amazing song. And then, he does this song and he does this show, and it's just like, man, he's just getting fucking started.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's been through so much loss, and he's just a happy-go-lucky guy. I mean, if you don't aspire to be Luke Bryan, then fuck you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That guy's unreal.
Yeah, I actually saw that.
Like, just the way he carries himself. I'm not saying, like, you got to be like him musically. I'm just saying, give credit where credit due. That guy's badass.
Yeah. We were talking about social media before, and I actually saw you talk about that that second song you mentioned, Songs
You Never Heard.
Yeah, Songs You Never Heard.
Yeah.
I saw you tweet that out. How have you been enjoying Twitter?
Man, I love it, dude. I love Terry's Twitter. I looked at his Twitter last night. Some of the shit he says on there. It's like Terry Adams Music with a K.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah.
I wish he would do it every day and just rip on people. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, because Twitter's something where you've been getting on a little bit more, and it's that kind of it's quick, you know.
Last night McKinney did an impression of Terry, and he did an impression of Alex.
Oh, really?
He was like, Baril, sometimes you just don't need to talk. and then Terry's impression was like, Baril, if you weren't so shitty, I don't remember what it was. It was just funny. It was hilarious.
Oh, McKinney.
Skinny McKinney.
Skinny
Teabagging McKinney.
Teabagging McKinney. I mean, he slid and he slid and he rode all right.
McKinney line, McKinney.
Him, the McKinney line. It is very much a real thing, man. But
Alex asked me today if McKinney hated me because of the way I talked about him on the
Raised
Rowdy podcast. I was like, no, I don't think so. Doubt he's even listened to it. We're all good. Anyways.
Yeah, no, he's good people, man. But dude, you cool if we at the end of this one we close it out with the title track? We just
I'm
put
cool
the song
with
at
that.
the end of it.
Do you didn't have any more questions from Instagram?
We're
out of time.
I mean, we can keep it. We can keep it.
Yeah, it's 5:36. We love y'all. We're out, bitches. We're going to Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo. Yeah, that's another one we could ask you. Favorite little hidden gem food spots. So Cinco here in Hermitage.
Yeah,
you like that place a lot.
That's the spot.
You guys know all the staff there. Favorite bar in town.
Definitely not Red Door.
Yeah, I would agree.
Fuck Red Door. Hard.
I did get in there the other night. I haven't.
Kara and Priscilla like going to Losers, which I don't mind Losers if it's not busy. I hate it when it's crowded. Honestly, I hate any crowded bar.
Has it been weird now too? Because I remember back in like the fall and like the winter, like as shit was kind of starting, people would come up to you and shit. Has that still been continuing to happen?
Yeah. The other night we went for Kara's birthday. We went to Broadway, but we went to Printer's Alley to that karaoke bar.
Yeah,
I forgot what it's called. Anyways, we walk in and this guy goes, "Dig down in Dallas?" I was like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "No way. I'm just trying to keep it cool here, but that's totally you." I was like, "Yeah." So we've had all kinds of moments like that. I was at a Dollar General close to my lake house, and I was Matt was with me, and this guy goes, "Trey Lewis?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Man, will you get a picture of me?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I was like, "Let's do it." He was like, "Well, come outside because my wife and kids are out here.
Come meet my mama in there."
Yeah, it was basically like that. So, yeah, but that's been cool. But yeah, so we like fucking Cinco de Mayo, Outback, Buffalo Wild Wings, Hooters. Those are the main places we eat in Hermitage.
See, every time I go to Hooters, like I'm like, yeah, I'm going to Hooters,
and then it's like, why did I eat here?
Yeah, every fucking time.
Same thing with Buffalo Wild Wings, but last night the service was actually on point.
That's good.
But fuck Red Door. If we didn't already get that across, I fucking hate that place. They're dickheads. Can't get a drink. The red lights are just annoying. Like I feel like if you get drunk, like if you come to Nashville from out of town and you just get blackout, like Red Door's that bar that you go to, and then the next day you're like, what did we do last night? And what was that place we went with, like the red lights?
Have you ever closed down Red Door?
No.
So you know what happens?
I would never.
So when you close it down, the red lights turn orange, and then eventually the lights come on, and that's when it's time to leave. So the lights change colors as the night goes on.
Well, fuck Red Door. But anyways, I like Live Oak. I think Hason's pretty cool. He's gave us a home, there to play rounds and, end the rounds there, and a lot of other great rounds. Mark's got his there.
I know Nikki T's got Rowdy on the road. Kristen's got hers. Tracy's got one. I mean, the whole family's there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just great.
And next week we got a special one. No hits takeover.
No hits takeover next week at Live Oak. Starts at 6 p.m.
Starts at 7.
Perfect. But man, I like the local. I haven't been there forever. I love that place.
I went in there over the weekend, and I took Kepsy there for the first time, and Kepsy's like, why haven't you brought me here already?
Yeah, the food's amazing.
The
honey mustard, the chicken fingers, and the French fries.
Yeah. The food's amazing. The people there are great. Geoff or Jeff, who runs that place, they're great. And you're usually going to hear great songs. And that was a spot where I remember going after kickball and watching you guys, you and Ella and McKinney. Everybody was playing rounds at the local for a long time.
Yeah.
People still do. I mean, it's a great spot to be.
Yeah, I love that place, and Jeff's a great guy, but Live Oak's cool. I'm not a huge Tin Roof guy, which I love Tin Roof, but I'm just that Tin Roof down there on Demontgomery. It's just kind of awkward.
It ain't like, well, when you go around.
Yeah, and
and
I mean, no hate against Revival, but it seems like the last 3 times I was supposed to play Revival, I got canceled. So I'm just like, cool. I'm just not cool enough to play Revival. So whatever, you know what I mean? But yeah, so it's cool. I mean, but just not Red Door. Fuck Red Door. Just want to get that across.
Oh man, and then shows coming up in the next few weeks. See if you know them.
Hell,
Rock the South.
Rock the South.
That's easy. Come on.
I don't know, dude.
You don't know them?
You just tell me where to be, Burrell. That's the deal here. I know we got Raleigh on the 28th and
Myrtle on the 27th.
Myrtle on the 27th.
Just found out today, or I don't know when it's fully going to be announced. We got some West Virginia stuff coming up. You ever been to West Virginia?
Just through there. Yeah, we went to West Virginia. No, was that?
When
we went to Pennsylvania, but it was basically
border of West Virginia.
Yeah, it's like some fucking wild, wonderful whites type shit up there.
Yeah,
we drove the van around the fucking mud track.
Yeah, and then it broke down on the way back.
Broke down on the way back. Wonder why.
Got that Renegade Rebellion Music Festival.
Yeah,
it's gonna be cool.
Got that.
Now we got some brand new music for you guys. Crank it up. This is the brand new one from Mr. TL himself. The title of the EP. This is Shut the Door. Y'all have been listening to the In the Round podcast. The thing is,
we'll just tell you, we're opening for Parker McCollum. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah, we're pumped about it.
Oh boy, the Glasscock special right there.
The Glasscock. Henry Glasscock is the best agent in the world.
Yeah, hey man, he helps us all pay our bills and helps me pay my bills at least. I really appreciate
the Crystal Pistol.
The Crystal, something like that. Well, dude, this was an absolute blast, man. Definitely more fun. I mean,
it's I was talking to a different person the whole time. It was great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, from the first time. Yeah. I mean, last time we were just getting to know each other, and now we're always with each other. So it's awesome. But guys, make sure you check out the EP, brand new music from Mr. Trey Lewis. Shut the Door. 5 new songs available now wherever you listen to music. Check it all out. Look up tour dates, TreyLewisMusic.com. Get some merch. Say hey to me at the merch table when you come to the shows. Are we still doing that koozie promotion?
Koozie promotion?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you pre-order, what is it?
No, well, you can't pre-order. It's out.
Yeah.
What was the other one you used to do?
Oh, the one, if you go to the merch, if you're a girl and you go to the merch table and give Burrell your number, you'll get a free koozie.
There was that one, and then there was the other one.
If you're a guy, if you go up to the merch table and tell Burrell he's a bitch, you'll get a free koozie. And after every show, if you come to a show, I'm at the merch table after the show for a free meet and greet. If you want to fucking take pictures together, if you want me to sign your tits, whatever. I'm there. I'm always there. It's free.
He's always
shake your hand.
He's always there. He'll even sign your baby. He has signed a baby's forehead. We have had that happen.
Yes, ma'am. I'll sign that baby's forehead.
It has happened. Yeah. Well, guys, thank you as always for listening to another edition of the In the Round podcast. Shout out to the sponsors, Whaletail Media, Saxman Studios, and of course, Trailside CBD Emporium. Use that promo code ITR for 20% off your order. Now, without further ado, it's the title track of the EP. The new music, it's out. Go stream the shit out of it, y'all. This is Shut the Door by Trey Lewis on the In the Round podcast.
I got scars and so do you. Found out the hard way, hearts ain't bulletproof. So baby, won't you come on in? You've been through heaven, hell, and back again. We've both been hurt and felt that burn, but I am and you're not hurt. So shut the door, we can take it nice and slow. Strip away all the pain, leave it scattered on the floor. Skin on skin, closer than we've ever been before. Shut the door. Say no more to sun last night, regret. And that ain't last call whiskey on my breath. Sweet surrender's glowing from your eyes. Girl, I think we got this right. I know that we got things to do, but the world can wait on me and you. So shut the door, we can take it nice and slow. Strip away all the pain, leave it scattered on the floor. Skin on skin, closer than we've ever been before. Shut the door. Things to do, but the world can wait on me and you, baby. So shut the door, we can take it nice and slow. Strip away all the pain, leave it scattered on the floor. Skin on skin, closer than we've ever been before. Shut the door, shut the door.